Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview covering this time VALORANT Champions 2024. And for this occasion, my first one-on-one interview is going to be with Governor, a familiar face for those of you who have been watching the channel, but still, Governor, thank you so much for doing this. And despite the loss to Leviatan, it's a pleasure to see you grace the international stage and champions at that. And so, just talking to you about that, just making your debut, making your first appearance ever. What was the feeling like for you? What was the emotion like for you?
Um, I think I had that sort of the nerves were what do you call it? The nerves kind of disappeared as I played through like Civic Stage 1 and 2. Obviously we're playing in like the same venue as well. We didn't have to travel. So for me, didn't really feel like didn't really feel much different like another match. That being said though, we keep beating ourselves. American Seed number one or not, it's just we're just beating ourselves. Like there's so many rounds. I think on Bind there's at least 6 rounds where people trolled. I trolled at least 2 rounds. I know that for sure. But you know, it is what it is. I think we'll keep getting better. Um, but we gotta fix those. We're gonna
Yeah, for sure.
we gotta
Your
fix.
words. Yeah, for sure. Your words definitely echoed that of Frost, a very vocal member within the team. That's for sure. Um, what do you think has been the reason behind the team's struggles from your point of view? Was it just mental? Was it just team not being able to execute the usual plays, or what do you think, or was it maybe nerves, just because of as was mentioned in the press conference, a majority of the team, a good number of the team, are rookies, yourself included, within the VCT Tier One this year.
Um, nerves, I guess. Like I think in scrims we still make a lot of mistakes. Obviously, we're not nervous in scrims, so I can't say like all those mistakes are because of nerves because in scrims like we also make mistakes, but we still have been doing really well, which is why we thought even if we play like scrims make a couple mistakes it's whatever, but today like we made a lot more than usual, so I guess yeah, it's nerves I guess. But uh, I think what kind of makes it even harder to manage, and this has been a problem since kickoff, is just the language barrier, comms. Getting on the same page is really hard when it comes to making adjustments because of our language barriers, especially heat of the moment. So a lot of a lot of the things that we have to fix and work on, like that has to happen in practice, I suppose, because in game the problem has always just been making adjustments through the language barriers and like doing it without losing your timing or whatnot. Yeah, sorry for yapping.
No, it's all good. It's good to have the interview yap, and I do understand that. Given the fact that a good number of the team are Thai, and then sure you got Cruz speaking English, so you can be the connection between the English speaking people and the Thai speaking people, but still, as you mentioned,
Yeah.
definite issues there that hopefully you guys can turn it around next match and then also somewhere in the future. And so, still want to ask now about your individual performance. Of course, when it comes to you playing the neon, it's almost a given that you're going to play well. And evidently, you did exactly that in Bind. So, walk me through your individual form on Bind and also a little bit on the snip, but more so as a collective, given the fact that you guys had a good period of struggling as a team.
I was pretty happy with Bind, at least individually, up until I guess later into the game. I think later in the game I made two pretty crucial mistakes. But I'm not gonna go too into detail. But overall, I think it's more of a comfort for me, obviously. So I'm able to play more well. Also, it's a duelist character, and I'm able to make more plays and go for a lot of things that I can't. I'm playing other agents. But as far as like how we played as a team, Bind, it was like early game. We're fucking sorry. Uh, Early game, we're like trolling and like not doing, but then like we get on the right track, and then late game we start trolling again. So like it's like it's a troll sandwich. I don't know. And then Ascent, it was just uh, there's not much to say. A lot of Ascent was more of like not really mistakes, but just nerves and comms, and just like overall we looked like a completely different team. Thank God for Primmie like keeping us in there. He had a great game, but you know, as far as like how that map usually goes for us in practice, it looks nothing like that. So also I played bad. So yeah.
I want to ask you about the composition, a zombie comp. I believe Jan Lee called that in the broadcast. Might be said to the rest. Might be said the same thing from other broadcasts, but that's neither here nor there. Just want to ask you about how the team has kind of been handling Ascent and just having to play that kind of map, because it is a map, as you said, that the team has been struggling throughout this year. So how have you guys been kind of managing to find a semblance of just stability and good form there?
The comp is really strong. It's just a lot of it comes down to, I guess, at least how it feels as a player is like the readiness and the preparation of it, our preparation of it. We've gone through 3 roster changes this year, and with each iteration, we've played the zombie comp. And with each change, we've drastically had to swap roles. Uh, Recently, it was the addition of Primmie, and then it put me on Silva, Cruz on KO. This isn't an excuse. I still think I did not play my standard of Silva. I looked really bad, but I think just part of it is, I guess, we just changed the comp a lot.
Mhm.
Um, so that's like sort of a problem. But that being said, like we've had success in other maps doing it. I still think we kind of beat ourselves. It was honestly just nerves, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. I want to now not kind of focus on the match itself, but now just focusing on just on you in particular. Of course, we had a quick talk before the start of the season, and you kind of talked to me about your expectations for playing in Pacific and how the team would fare. And even to myself, I would not have foreseen you guys to even make champions, but you guys have been able to do that. And as I said, job well done on that. But still, what do you think kind of helped the team the most in just making it to this point? And also, in addition to that, what do you think just helped you contribute so well to the team to even get to this point?
Everyone on the team is a grinder and works really, really, really hard. I guess everybody can say that. I mean, I'm sure like actions speak louder than words, and everybody probably has said the same thing. But like, I really think our team has worked probably the hardest, at least in our region, knowing like other people's scrim schedules and like what their practice looks like off of like what we've heard. But it's also our flexibility. But I mean, that comes with like how hard we work. Obviously, like I think a big what makes us stand out is like our comps and like how creative we are, and that's only because like that's not because we're randomly just throwing in agents and figuring out. Like we spend a lot of time, based on the opponent, based on tons of factors, like, and that requires so much time. But I think it's, yeah, we've been working really hard, so I think us going to champs was well deserved.
Obviously you started out the year as like um, the main duelist, and then obviously switched over to a much more supportive role later on down the year to this point. As you said, playing the Silva, a little bit playing the Neon, which is your comfort pick when the situation applies for it or needs for it to be. For you, what do you think is the one thing that you kind of worked on the most that from the start of the year to now that reached you to be in this position where with yourself included, the team can has the potential to go far in this tournament.
Mm, again, going back to just flexibility. I think my willingness to learn other characters, like um, pretty happy with that decision. At first, the vision was just I was gonna play duelist the whole year, but obviously with even before Primmie joined, we experimented with like other variations. But I think it's kind of elevated my game, but also our team's game because now like because I can't what do you call it, like I feel like because of language barriers, I can't calm as much on like duelists and like help as much, but or not because of language barriers, but sorry, let me
Mhm.
collect my thoughts.
It's all good.
Can
It's all good.
you ask the question?
Um, as I said, the biggest thing that you worked on the most that helped you be at this current point, amidst the role changes and the like.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so flexibility, my willingness to learn other characters has been a big, kind of way for us to level up as a team. I think when I play Neon, like it's good, but also like when I play other agents like Sova, KO, other agents that I won't say yet because I don't think we've shown it yet, but I'm able to kind of calm more and like have impact vocally that doesn't like have impact in other ways and kind of let young kids frag like Primmie and Jit. But yeah, just I guess that would be the biggest change that I think kind of 180 does.
Of course, I do understand that, Governor, and also I gotta thank you for doing this, giving me an interview despite the loss. I really do appreciate it, and of course, best of luck going forward, and best of luck in the next match, man.
Thank you so much.